We left Southampton and sailed 898 nautical miles to Lisbon, the capital of Portugal. In Lisbon, we stepped back in time with a legendary excursion aboard one of Lisbon's old trams. Lovingly restored, this piece of roaring history carried us on a circuit of this seven-hilled city.
This area for about 400 years until Lisbon was taken by the Christians in 1147.
Tram guides wore traditional Portuguese costumes. In Lisbon, whether you ride on a bus or a tram, the cost is still the same. You pay €1 per ride. We next visited the very beautiful church of St Mary of the Lake. This is commonly known as the Geronimo Monastery. This is a model of the first plane that flew the Atlantic from Portugal to Brazil. This is Lisbon Fort. It was built in the 15th century to protect Lisbon from invasion. This is the famous Lisbon Suspension Bridge. The statue of Henry the Navigator. These are his faithful warriors. Henry the Navigator, 1394 to 1460, Portuguese patron of explorers. He was the fourth son of King John I of Portugal. He won a military reputation. Under his auspices, Madeira, the Azores, and the Cape Verde Islands were colonised. The west coast of Africa was explored, and many trading stations were established. We next visited Black Horse Square. Black Horse Square is the centre of Lisbon. Lisbon is the capital of Portugal. The Republic of Portugal is a country in southwest Europe, occupying the western section of the Iberian Peninsula and bordering on the Atlantic Ocean. Portugal is 34861 square miles and has a population of approximately 11 million people. After visiting Black Horse Square, we returned to the ship and sailed out of Lisbon Harbour. We said our final farewell to Henry the Navigator and the Lisbon fort. We then sailed 630 nautical miles to our next port of call, Lanzarote. Lanzarote is one of the smaller Spanish Canary Islands. It is a volcanic island. Lanzarote has some very beautiful scenery. Its scenery has been described as moonscape. One of Lanzarote's main attractions is a camel ride through its beautiful moonscape scenery.
Rising from the ground. At that depth, we've got temperatures rising from the ground of up to 250 degrees centigrade. Think of your ovens to think how hot that is. Now what we're going to do to demonstrate that heat is we're going to put the brushwood down inside the opening and see how long it takes for the natural heat rising from the ground to ignite the brushwood. Now, as you can see, there are no flames in the bottom. There is
wait till the flame kind of moves. You can see the smoke beginning to rise. But wait. I can feel it. It isn't even that deep.
right now. Have we got flames down there yet?
No.
No, we've still got smoke, have we? Yeah. In a few seconds, it should have flame.
You can hear it crinkling.
All smell like chippers after this one. Right. Have we got flames? Right?
Yes,
Not on this. Yeah, there it comes. Wait, wait,
We
wait.
need a match. There it comes.
you can hear him.
Oh. Yeah, mucho humo, ¿no? Very green. Yes. Hay llamas now. Have we got flames? Mira, hay llamas o no. Hay llamas.
Que sí hay llama, Nicky, que sí hay llama.
Muy bien. So Betty rubbing two Boy Scouts together. It's a bit longer than normal because it's very green.
Wait till it flames up.
Guide next demonstrated what happens when you throw water down a volcano.
Got it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Missed it.
Yeah. That way. Okay, ready? 2, 1. 2, 1.
En même temps que je rase, j'ai oublié d'armer. Attends, maintenant t'es baisé, parce qu'il faut attendre que le premier se réchauffe. Ah oui, on n'est pas dans le même. Ah, je suis à moitié dans la dôme.
Get it? I could play like that all day.
Sense of humor.
Restaurant on top of the volcano. This is the oven used by the restaurant to cook with. As the restaurant is situated on the top of the volcano, no gas or electricity is needed. We now proceeded to take a bus tour through the national park.
Is everybody okay there? Okay.
Right.
Stopped erupting, the molten lava flowed away and left that hollow tunnel or tube behind it. Now, as I said, that's a tiny one. And what's happened with this tube is the roof has collapsed, leaving us with this fissure, this crack in the lava flow. Now, as we come into the fissure, but also evidence the lava carried solid blocks of rock within it.
Tenerife is the largest of the Spanish Canary Islands. It is situated in the Atlantic Ocean. This mountain, Pisco de Tedi, is the highest mountain in Spain. Its height is 12172 feet. Tenerife has a population of 689,000. Its area is 780 square miles. Its scenic beauty is absolutely staggering. The final place we visited in Tenerife were the beautiful botanical gardens. Here you could just relax and listen to the sound of the birds. After visiting Tenerife, we sailed 926 nautical miles to the Gambia. The Republic of the Gambia is a country in West Africa on the Atlantic Ocean, occupying a narrow strip along the River Gambia and surrounded by Senegalese territory. The official language of the Gambia is English. The population is 592,000 and the area of the Gambia is 4125 square miles. We first visited a typical African village. These are oyster shells. Once the oysters have been removed, the shells are used to make pottery.
Who is preparing medicines, these African medicines.
Medicine man.
Yes,
Shaman.
medicine man. Yes, he's here. Any problem you have when you come here, he will find a medicine for you. For example, these are the roots of the different species of trees we have here. And every root is responsible of a special sickness, you see. And sometimes when you have a problem at home, and maybe from family or from somebody, and you want him to help you, yes, when you reach him, he will first investigate your problem.
No trip to the Gambia would be complete without taking a boat trip along the River Gambia. Finally, we enjoyed an excellent display of African dancing. Gambia, and we left the Gambia and sailed 1,561 nautical miles to the Republic of Benin. Benin, which until 1975 was known as Dahomey, is a country in West Africa on the Gulf of Guinea. Its area is 43464 square miles. Its population is 4 million. We were invited to the ex-king of Dahomey's palace to see an exhibition of African dancing. King, or the ex-king of Dahomey. This is a statue of Julius de Sina, King of Dahomey from 1890 to 1906. The statue commemorates the king's fight to defend Dahomey against the French. We next watched a display of snake dancing. Then we sailed 406 nautical miles to our next port of call, Bom Bom Island. Bom Bom Island, officially called the Democratic Republic of Saint Tone and Principe is a small island country off the coast of West Africa in the Gulf of Guinea. Its area is only 372 square miles and its population is 88,000. We visited the town of Saint Antone and were shown round their local church. Bombom Island was a Portuguese colony, and one can observe the beautiful Portuguese architecture. We left Bombom Island and sailed 1554 nautical miles to Namibia. Namibia, formerly known until 1968 as Southwest Africa, is a territory on the Adriatic Ocean. The narrow coastal plains of the Namibian desert rise to the central plateau with the Kalahari Desert to the north. Namibia has a population of just over 1 million people. Its area is 318,261 square miles. Although Namibia is desert, our guide was able to put his hands in the sand and dig out a Komodian, proving that even in the desert there is some life. one is really impressed by the vast area of the sand dunes and the desert. It is amazing that even the desert can support primitive plant life. An early German settlement. This territory was formerly a German colony. To conclude our visit to Namibia, our guide did his party trick, driving his four-wheel drive into a sand dune.
She's out. No, he's out. Over there, he's pointing. Oh, he's waiting. He's what? Oh, they're looking. He's stuck.
An hour.
Was I try it again?
You gonna make it up?
Huh?
here and sailed 1160 nautical miles to Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Port Elizabeth is a city situated in the South Cape Province. It was founded in 1820 by British settlers. Its population is 500,000 people. This is the Dorking Monument. Here on the 6th of June 1820, Sir Rufus Dawkins, acting governor of the Cape Colony, named the city in honour of his late wife Elizabeth. This is Port Elizabeth Lighthouse. Building where the first boys' school in Port Elizabeth was established. We next proceeded to Fort Frederick. Fort Frederick was built in 1799. It was intended to defend the original harbour against the French, who wanted to colonise remote eastern regions of the Cape. Ironically, no shot was ever fired from the fort. Cape Town is the capital of Cape Province on the Atlantic Ocean of South Africa. It was founded in 1652 as a supply post for the Dutch East India Company. It is the oldest white settlement in South Africa. Its population is 214,000. This rotary aerial cableway has been in operation since October 1997. The 65-passenger cable car runs from Cape Town to the top of Table Mountain. The round form of the rotary cabin fulfills two functions. Firstly, thanks to the turning floor, the passengers can enjoy the 360-degree panoramic view. Second, it offers excellent aerodynamics in high winds. In these instances, the filled water tank in the floor of the cabin offers additional ballast and higher stability. The views from Table Mountain are absolutely magnificent. One of the animals that visitors can expect to encounter on Table Mountain is the Dassie or rock hyrax. It is about 50 centimetres in length and resembles a rabbit. The Daihax, however, is no rodent, and in fact its closest living relative is the elephant. They are very sociable creatures and are often found bathing in the sun around the upper cableway station, where they have lost their natural fear of humans. We next visited the Botanical Gardens, correctly known as the Company Gardens. The statue is of General Smuts, Jan Christian Smuts, 1870 to 1950. He was South African Prime Minister from 1919 to 1924, and again from 1939 to 1948. These gardens are referred to as the Company Gardens because they were originally built by the Dutch East India Company. Cecil John Rhodes, 1853 to 1902, South African financier and statesman. We now spent time relaxing in the gardens.